Namaskar, good evening viewers. It's 9 p.m. and you are watching the news on Sansad TV. I am Rajiv Kumar Singh. Over the next half an hour, I will take you through all things important from the national and international fronts. Let us get started with the top 5 headlines this Tuesday evening. Prime Minister unveils logo and website of India's G20 presidency. He calls it a matter of pride and great opportunity in our 75th year of independence. India to assume chairmanship from Indonesia on 1st of December. India-Russia ties exceptionally steady and time-tested. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar says in Moscow, focus on building balanced, mutually beneficial, long-term partnership. Air quality in Delhi NCR is still in very poor category. Light rain, drizzle expected in the national capital. Anti-smog guns must for construction sites. Devotees throng gurudwaras across the country to celebrate 553rd birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. Millions across India and world witness the rare celestial event of a total lunar eclipse. Next one to be seen on 7th September 2025. A quick look now at some flash news. President Draupadi Murmu will administer the oath of office to new Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, tomorrow. He will succeed Justice Uday Umesh Lalit. Home Ministry successfully completes the Mother Tongue Survey of India with field videography of 576 languages and dialects across the country. Indian Navy participating in 26th International Malabar Naval Exercise in Yokosuka, Japan, along with Australia, Japan and the USA. Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan pays homage to Mahatma Gandhi in Brazilian capital, Brasilia, expresses happiness over the impact of Gandhian values on the local communities. CBI carries out searches at 7 locations in Jammu, Pathankot, Rewari and Karnal in connection with the police sub-inspector recruitment scam in Jammu and Kashmir. Centre grants 265 diplomat of National Board postgraduate medical seats to various government hospitals in Jammu and Kashmir. Police in Pakistan's Punjab province register an FIR in the assassination attempt on former PM Imran Khan. Police names assailant who is taken into custody. The World Health Organization says that at least 15,000 people died due to heat wave in Europe this year. 3 months from June to August were the hottest ever in Europe. A UK court accepts India's extradition request for arms dealer and middleman Sanjay Bhandari. He faces charges of tax evasion and money laundering in India. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other senior BJP leaders greet party stalwart L.K. Advani on his 95th birthday. PM and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also visit Advani's residence in New Delhi. On to our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India's upcoming presidency of the G20 grouping in the 75th year of independence of the country is a matter of pride and great opportunity for the country. He said that the lotus symbol in the G20 logo represents hope in these tough times. He said it also signifies India's ancient heritage, faith and thought. He further added that the thought of universal brotherhood is being reflected via the G20 logo.
ये डेमोक्रेसी, ये डाइवर्सिटी, ये इंडिजीनियस अप्रोच, ये इंक्लूसिव सोच, ये लोकल लाइफस्टाइल, ये ग्लोबल थॉट्स आज वर्ल्ड इन्हीं आइडियाज में अपनी सभी चुनौतियों के समाधान देख रहा है और G20 इसके लिए एक बड़े अवसर के रूप में काम आ सकता है.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the G20 is a grouping of 20 countries that represent 75% of world's trade and covers two-thirds of the world's population. He stated that India's G20 mantra is one earth, one family, one future. He reiterated that India will make efforts to ensure there should be no first world or third world, but only one world. The Prime Minister said that today the world is looking for health instead of cure. He said that there is a renewed enthusiasm and belief in Indian practices like Ayurveda and yoga. He added that India can create a global system for its expansion.
हमारा दायित्व है कि हम अपनी हजारों वर्ष पुरानी संस्कृति की बौद्धिकता और उसमें समाहित आधुनिकता से विश्व का ज्ञानवर्धन करें. जिस तरह हम सदियों और सहस्त्राब्दियों से जय जगत के विचार को जीते आए हैं, आज हमें उसे जीवंत कर आधुनिक विश्व के सामने प्रस्तुत करना होगा.
India and Russia have an exceptionally steady and time-tested relationship. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said during talks with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov in Moscow. He asserted that the objective now is to fashion a balanced, mutually beneficial and long-term engagement in the backdrop of increasing economic cooperation. He said that financial pressures and trade difficulties due to COVID-19 pandemic had taken a toll on the global economy. He said that we are now seeing the consequences of the Ukraine conflict in this context. He added that more perennial issues of terrorism and climate change also have a disruptive impact on progress and prosperity. Jaishankar arrived in Moscow on Monday evening on a two-day visit.
The world is moving towards greater multipolarity through steady and continuous rebalancing, and that especially means a multipolar Asia. As prominent nations who have a positive history of working together, this will naturally influence the conversations between Russia and India. Our two countries are members of the G20, the BRICS, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, amongst others. How we work together in these formats is also on our agenda.
Jaishankar also met with Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Denis Munturov, co-chair of the India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission. Both leaders discussed ways to strengthen a sustainable and balanced partnership. They also discussed possibilities of increasing cooperation in the fields of trade, investment, energy, fertilizers, pharma, agriculture and shipping. And now, news from the poll-bound states of Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. Election campaigning in Himachal Pradesh is in its last leg with just 4 days to go for the polls. The State Election Commission is also leaving no stone unturned to ensure free and fair polls in the hill state. Sansad TV correspondent Kumar Sharma spoke to Chief Election Officer of Himachal Pradesh, Manish Garg, on election preparations in the state.
जो 12 नवंबर को चुनाव होने हैं हिमाचल प्रदेश में, उसमें बहुत सारे इनिशिएटिव्स लिए गए हैं लोगों की पार्टिसिपेशन बढ़ाने के लिए. आयोग ने इस बार एक पोस्टल बैलेट की सुविधा भी दी है, जिसमें जो हमारे बुजुर्ग मतदाता और पीडब्ल्यूडी वोटर्स हैं उनको ये सुविधा दी गई है कि अगर वो चाहें तो पोस्टल बैलेट के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, जिसमें कि पोलिंग टीम्स जो हैं उनके घर पे जाके उनके वोट को कास्ट करवाती हैं.
Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami participated in Jan Sampark Abhiyan at the Mall Road in Shimla in Himachal Pradesh. He campaigned for the BJP ahead of the assembly elections in Himachal on 12th of November. Senior Congress leader P. Chidambaram targeted the BJP over Morbi Bridge collapse, campaigning in the state ahead of upcoming Gujarat Assembly polls. Chidambaram said that no one so far has apologized or resigned for the Morbi Bridge collapse tragedy, which claimed 135 lives. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot said that the pension scheme is the biggest issue in the Himachal Assembly elections and no party can ignore it anymore. Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister met with family members of Shyam Saran Negi, the first voter of independent India who passed away a few days back. He said that Negi will remain an inspiration. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar addressed the students of Baba Masnath University in Rohtak on their third convocation ceremony. He said that the pace at which India is moving ahead today was not the same earlier. He said that India is the best destination for investment and opportunities in the world right now. The Vice President stated that due to the government policies, everyone is getting a chance to hone their skills and realize their potential. He also highlighted the objectives of the new education policy and said that its changes are visible.
34 साल बाद एक बहुत बड़ा बदलाव लाने के लिए एक ऐतिहासिक निर्णय किया गया, नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी. You cannot imagine the kind of deliberations and interactions that went into evolution of this policy. We have a Vice Chancellor there and Vice Chancellor here. They are fully aware of it. इस पॉलिसी का उद्देश्य क्या था? हम वर्तमान शताब्दी की आवश्यकताओं के अनुसार तैयार हों, मातृभाषा को बल दें, भारतीय मूल्य और संस्कृति को ध्यान में रखें और ये क्रांतिकारी नीति है, इसके बदलाव नजर आ रहे हैं.
Vice President Dhankar also viewed the exhibition put up by the students of the university. He expressed confidence that the youth will ensure that India's progress does not slow down. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar was also present at the event. India and many places in the world witnessed the rare celestial phenomena of total lunar eclipse today. The lunar eclipse started in India at 5:20 p.m. and ended at 6:19 p.m. This was the last lunar eclipse of the year. The next total lunar eclipse will be seen on the 7th of September 2025. Although before that, in October 2023, a partial eclipse will be seen in India. A large number of devotees thronged gurudwaras across the country on the occasion of the 553rd birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the founder of Sikhism. The President, Vice President, Prime Minister and Speaker of Lok Sabha wished the people on the occasion. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla visited Gurudwara Rakabganj to pay his obeisance. Devotees arrived at the Golden Temple in Amritsar, Sultanpur Lodhi in Kapurthala and Nada Sahib in Panchkula, Haryana, among other religious places in large numbers. Gurudwaras in the major cities of Punjab, such as Ludhiana, Jalandhar, Bathinda, Mohali and Anandpur Sahib, were bustling with devotees. In Haryana, the Gurudwaras of Kurukshetra, Ambala, Sirsa, Karnal and Yamunanagar also witnessed huge crowds. The Gurudwaras were decked up on the occasion and people of different religions also lined up for the occasion. On this day, the first Sikh Guru, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, was born in 1469 at Nankana Sahib near Lahore in present-day Pakistan. Devotees also offered prayers at the historic Gurudwara Bear Sahib in Sultanpur Lodhi. On Guru Nanak Jayanti, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee attended the program of the Sikh community at Dharamtala. In Patna Sahib, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar attended Guru Purab celebrations. Devotees took holy dip in rivers across the country on the occasion of Kartik Purnima. Lakhs of devotees took a holy dip in river Ganga in Haridwar, Uttarakhand on the occasion of Kartik Purnima and the Lunar Eclipse. They also worshipped the sun god on the banks of the Ganga. Meanwhile, the doors of Badrinath Dham were closed before the lunar eclipse started. Devotees also took holy dip in Saryu River in Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh on the occasion of Kartik Purnima. Delhi remains enveloped in haze today, as well as its air quality continues to be in very poor category. For the fourth consecutive day, the Commission of Air Quality Management has directed that all construction sites in the National Capital Region should deploy anti-smog guns. The Weather Department has forecast light rain or drizzle in the national capital. Meanwhile, schools will reopen for primary classes from tomorrow and outdoor activities will be resumed for all classes. Time now for a short break in the bulletin. Lots more coming up on the other side. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. Let's take a look now at all the latest from the Russia-Ukraine war front. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan acknowledged on Monday that the administration and senior Russian officials have communicated during the war in Ukraine. Confirming reports about the confidential talks, Sullivan said that the Biden administration is engaged with the Russians to reduce risk and to convey the consequences of potential use of nuclear weapons. He reiterated that the U.S. support for Ukraine will be unflinching and unwavering regardless of the midterm election results. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Donetsk region in the east remained the epicenter of fighting in the conflict, with hundreds of Russians being killed every day. Zelensky stated that more than 50 settlements across Ukraine were hit by occupiers on Monday, including Zaporizhia and the Kherson region in the country's east. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Monday that some 80,000 mobilized reservists have been deployed to Ukraine out of over 3 lakh called up since September 21st. He added that only 50,000 of them are in combat units, while the rest are at training grounds. Putin also said that issues related to the mobilization should be discussed with other heads of regions. Russian-appointed authorities in the occupied city of Kherson have called for civilians to evacuate to Russian-controlled territory on the eastern bank. The call is in anticipation of a major Ukrainian counter-offensive to retake the strategic port city. Tens of thousands of civilians already left the region capital after being ordered to evacuate the area in October in the face of Ukrainian counter-offensive. And now news from some other parts of the globe. The 27th Conference of the Parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or COP27, has called for concrete actions and multilateral cooperation. Speaking at the COP27 being held in Egypt's coastal city of Sharm el-Sheikh, UN chief said that the climate crisis is in the defining issue of our times. World leaders gathered at the summit also highlighted the need for a joint action to tackle crisis.
The planet is on a highway to climate hell without urgent action. With this warning, US Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged world leaders at COP27 to work together to ensure the world does not warm more than 1.5 degrees from pre-industrial levels. The 1.5 degree goal was laid out in Paris Agreement in 2015.
The global climate fight will be won or lost in this crucial decade on our watch. And one thing is certain, those that give up are sure to lose. So let's fight together and let's win.
Guterres called on countries to sign up a climate solidarity pact or condemn future generations to climate catastrophe. He added that the worst impacts of climate change would be felt in developing countries. Many world leaders urged for joint action against climate change at the UN Climate Summit in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said climate and energy security went hand in hand. He also said Britain remained committed to a £11.6 billion climate fund. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz also said Russia's attack on Ukraine has made the shift from fossil fuels to renewable energy a security policy imperative. He insisted that Germany remains committed to phasing out coal. French President Emmanuel Macron called on nations to not get deterred despite the global energy crisis prompted by Russia's war in Ukraine. Italy's new far-right leader, Giorgia Meloni, took a swipe at major polluters, suggesting they were freeloading on more ambitious countries. She added her new government will stick to Italy's existing climate goal of net zero emission by mid-century. Congo President Denis Sassou Nguesso called for a decade of forestation to reverse the current course.
Democrats and Republicans made their final pitches to voters on Monday ahead of today's midterm polls in the United States. Biden held an evening rally in Stronghold, Maryland. He contended that Republican victories could threaten the very future of American democracy. Meanwhile, former U.S. President Donald Trump teased his next presidential run at a rally in Ohio, saying he will be making a big announcement next week in Florida. More than 42 million voters have cast early ballots ahead of today's elections. China's foreign ministry said that it was opposed to efforts by Taiwan to collude with external forces and pursue independence. The statement comes after the self-ruled island announced plans to a day earlier to invest more than 10 million euros towards chip production in Lithuania. It also allowed Taiwan to open a de facto embassy in its country in November last year. After this, Beijing had downgraded diplomatic relations with Lithuania and curbed trade. Indonesia's Armed Forces commander led an inspection ceremony of the security forces ahead of the G20 summit to be held on the resort island of Bali. The ceremony was attended by hundreds of personnel from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Intelligence and Police. Over 18,000 personnel would be on patrol during the conference in Denpasar. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken praised Armenia and Azerbaijan for taking courageous steps towards a durable peace. The statement came as foreign ministers from the two nations that have clashed repeatedly over control of the Nagorno-Karabakh region met in Washington. Blinken met the Armenian and Azerbaijani foreign ministers at Blair House just weeks after the worst fighting between the two countries since a 2020 war. He asserted that the United States is committed to the peace negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Russia's economy and banking sector have withstood the challenge of powerful Western sanctions, Russian Central Bank Governor Elvira Nebulina said today. However, she added that the central bank has no plans yet to ease capital controls that have helped support the ruble. In one of the strongest comments to date about the sanctions by a Russian official, Nebulina said that influence of sanctions on Russian and global economy should not be downplayed. And time now for the latest from the world of sports. Ahead of the World T20 semi-final against England on Thursday, Team India today suffered a massive scare as Captain Rohit Sharma sustained a powerful blow on his forearm during an optional session, but it did not turn out to be a serious injury. Unpredictable Pakistan to test consistent New Zealand in the first semi-finals of the T20 World Cup tomorrow at Sydney. Frances Carolina Garcia scored a biggest victory of her career with a straight sets defeat of Anya Sabalenka to win the season-ending WTA finals. Poland's Iga Swiatek may have failed to add the WTA finals title to her French and US Open crowns, but she finishes the year a dominant #1 in the women's tennis rankings. Real Madrid lost their first La Liga game of the season, going down 2-3 in a battle at city rivals Rayo Vallecano on Monday to leave Barcelona 2 points clear at the top. And with this, it's a wrap on the bulletin. Do stay tuned to Sansad TV for more news and updates. Thank you for watching. Good night.